Test, test.
Cool.
Yep.
The mics are working.
Yeah, we are active. Noise. Slightly new setup today, like a rotated sort of new setup.
Whatever.
We're in a transitional period, I'll call it. I just wanted to switch it up a little bit from the other podcast, just so it's not the exact like setup, and then
Fine.
tinkering with the new setup. I'm leaning away from using this. So as much as I would love for this room to just be like all the podcast setup, I don't think it's gonna work. It'll just be Can't Talk I'm creating, and then I know I mentioned to you setting up to film at the house in the basement. That'll be dope. In between the transition between doing that and also, I mean, I don't know how for you feel with like getting out of the house to be able to do it, and it gives you an excuse to get out of the house versus just like being in the same spot. But also I was thinking in between doing that, because that'll be a decent amount of time before that is fully like we do it at the house.
Yeah.
When I switch my office, because I've gone between the last time we talked, we've gone between 3 different rooms that are going to become my next office. So, but once I get my new office, I was thinking, because the one I might switch to right now is bigger, so I'll probably have more of like a sitting area. So I was like, that could also work to be like our pod, because it'd be in my office still, but it'd be set up like it'd already be a place that I could just leave set up. That would be different, because I definitely do want it to be a different setup than the other one.
Yeah, I'm for it. I don't care.
You do.
Keep doing it here. Do the house. Speaking of the house, though, I did measure. I think I know how much wood I need now.
Okay, cool.
And Mom said I can borrow her truck to get the wood.
Oh, okay.
I just have to do it. Maybe I'll get it this week, or maybe I'll get it. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I didn't look up the cost. I just know how many 8-footers and 10-footers I need.
Okay, word.
To frame it. So, yeah, maybe I'll go, because I have Wednesday, Thursday off. Maybe I'll go Wednesday or Thursday and get the wood. Probably, right?
Okay, word. Yeah.
I would like to get it done. I'm just lazy with doing stuff.
Word. I mean, yeah, because I definitely switch it up, and then with the new rooms, but trying to just mentally figure out like a layout and everything. But yeah, because I definitely, because I'm filming a couple episodes of Can't Talk I'm creating this week, and when I was going to set it up, I was like, yeah, I want them just to feel different. And I was watching the first episodes back the other day, and I was like, I like how it feels.
When we were in your office,
I like the feeling. I like seeing something that looks different. But yeah, so I'll figure it out once I figure out what's good with my new office. And
yeah, I thought that was cool, because the office setup, because it had like stuff in the background, like you had the Kingdom Hearts stuff and the painting on the wall on the one side. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so we'll shift back to that once I figure out like my office, and I switch it, because that'll be one of the first things I probably switch around, depending on which room I end up doing. But and then we'll go back to there, and then maybe switch the house, or like we can always just do back and forth. 1 week works better at the house, 1 week works better here.
Yeah, I'm open with it. I'm very open with however we recorded, or where we recorded, or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too specifically for this one, honestly. But
we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Episode 16. We can get our permit now. Podcast is
our driver's permit. Yeah,
16 episodes. Yeah.
All right, you start this time. How was your week?
My week was about normal. Honestly, probably a little. I mean, it was eventful. I mean, wow, that was.
I know some of stuff that happened over the last couple of days, because like you had Law's birthday over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then you had a wedding you went to.
Yep. Yeah. So personal life, it's been more eventful than it usually is, because I actually had like some human being activities, unlike the office. My brain immediately went to, it wasn't that, like my week was normal because the office was normal, work. But outside of here, it was not normal. But yeah, in office, about the same. Today I was like a little thrown off, because after this podcast, I might leave to go to the gym, I might not, but like I don't have like an absurd amount of like edits to do, which I'm not used to. So like my brain's like trying to find what are the tasks I got to get done, and it's like, oh no, I'm like caught up. Like this is I went through my schedule. There is nothing on it, but my brain's like, we got work. What are you supposed to be doing? Because I'm used to just the chaos of nonstop stuff. But my week, I don't remember exactly the order. Like we went away. We had Law's birthday. and I think we talked about it last week. We rented a house. Me and Law went up on Thursday. Her birthday was Friday, so we went up Thursday night. It was just me and her hung out at the house. Super nice house, upstate New York. Definitely kind of creepy because it was like upstate, like woods upstate.
Oh,
like the last like 30 minutes is like no street lights, winding roads, like back roads. So, and then we got there when it was like 5, 6. So it was already dark, and the whole like the living room was just glass doors looking out the woods. So it's just dark. It's like the class. I'm standing there. I'm like, this is like the classic. Like I'm looking out here, and I could already picture the camera looking over the shoulder of something in the woods, looking at me. But the house is super nice. We got to hang out Sunday or Thursday, and then Friday morning she went out to the store, picked up stuff, and then she cooked all day. All she wanted, like for her birthday, she wanted to like serve everybody else. She went to the store and she was cooking all day. I kind of just hung it around the house or read. I was messing around with the drawing tablet a little bit. That's like kind of where I started typing up my the concept for like the world building I was talking about. I was messing with I was just kind of coming up with the concept for that. And then people started coming over at like 4. Mom and Spanky came. Her whole family came. Mom, dad, aunts, her sister, her friend. Yeah, and then we all just kind of hung out that night. It was super nice to just like relax and hang out. It was yeah, and then that was Friday. And the Friday night, everybody left, and then Mom stayed, so it ended up just being Mom, literally like we do at Mom's house. It ended up just being me, Law, and Mom, and Spanky. We watched the show, and then we went to sleep. And Saturday morning, we all left. I ended up coming here, did some stuff here, and then met her back at the house, went to sleep Saturday. And then Sunday, we had the snow, so they canceled church. So then me and her just went to the wedding. It was the first wedding I've went to, like, alone as an adult. Like, the only other weddings I went to was when we were kids for, like, mom's cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was there. I mean, it wasn't much different for me because I had no idea about anything. Everyone kept asking me, like, what time is it? Where is it? And I was like, that's Law. She's going to let me know where to go, what I got to do. But yeah, we had the wedding on Sunday, which was dope. It was for an old engineer shit, or like, I guess not old because they still, like, I think they are starting to do stuff again. But engineer, Law used to use the other Corey from another team. I had this other dude named Corey. It was his wedding, so it was dope. We got to connect with a bunch of like other artists we've known. And people cool. Like some people I still work with, some people I haven't seen in like 2-3 years.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was cool to like go out there, and get to spend actually go to a wedding, spend some time with some friends I haven't seen in a while. There was one other point. Oh yeah, I didn't know like outfit wise what I was gonna wear, and luckily Mom had the suit you wore to Little Jeff's wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I ended up wearing the suit you wore to Little Jeff's wedding. I just had to buy a tie. But yeah, so I wore that suit. Because initially I was like, yeah, I have a button down, I have whatever. And I'm going through and I was like, I don't really have it all what I said I did. And Law was tight, and I was like, I'm just gonna dress how I normally dress. And she was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear like ripped jeans and like I was like, yeah, it's all right. But luckily, shout out to Mom, she had the suit, so got to wear the suit.
That's funny.
And yes, we had the wedding, and then after the wedding, because it was up north, it was like 20 minutes from here. I stopped after because she went back home, so I stopped here to finish up a couple things after the wedding, and I was here just in a full suit doing my edits, and I was like, yo, low key, like I kind of like this. I might start wearing the suit to the office. I was like, I feel like I'm like ready to fire somebody or something. It felt like But yeah, I made some content at my desk. I made a funny.
I saw the one you posted on Instagram. I posted
sitting at my desk where it's like when you're supposed to be at your wedding, but the clients need their work. So I got a little content out of it, which is nice. But yeah, something about wearing a suit. Like obviously, I never wear suits.
I feel the same way every time I put it on.
Yeah, like I don't know. I felt like I get why obviously lawyers wear it because they go to court. But I was like, yo, I'm gonna
be clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how people are gonna feel if they get on set for their video and I'm directing them in a full suit. Yeah. But I don't know. I felt powerful. I felt nice. I'm gonna have to slow roll it in. I'll start with like the nice pants one day.
The dress pants with the dress shoes.
Yeah, and then the button up one day.
Yeah.
And then slowly roll into the suit. Or I could be like I just wear the casual outfit, but the suit jacket. That's like I feel like you see like the tech bros in movies where they wear like a t-shirt, but they have the nice suit jacket over it.
Nah, you gotta go work your way up to the full suit, but then when you're wearing the full suit, when you're on set, you take the jacket off and you hang the jacket up and roll your sleeves up.
Oh, yeah.
You can even bring a tie and take it off or wear no tie. This way you got the dress shirt and the nice pants.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a slow roll the suit.
They call you boss.
That's what I'm saying. I got a slow roll into just being the suit guy. That's a big shift from my normal outfits, but
yeah, from baggy and sweatpants.
Yeah, to hoodies and
to full suit.
I was like, yeah, I want to be respected around here. Yeah, but yeah, that was my week, and then so that was Sunday, and then today that was yesterday. Finished up last night, and then now we're here. Start of the next week.
Yeah, very good.
How was your week?
It's about the same. I did a lot of practicing this week.
Oh, like tattooing and stuff?
Yeah. I talked to Danny a little bit because I was, like last week I was saying I had trouble with putting the stencil on. And then I talked to Danny and he said try a thing, which I was already trying. But then I think last week I mentioned that I found something to try when I was like looking into it online. And that worked. It's just applying the stencil the way that I've been.
Oh, and then like overnight.
But let it sit overnight. And then, so I did that. And the stencil never comes off now. So I did that and I practiced a lot. I didn't do it every day. I did it maybe 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 7 days. I think there was one day that I skipped because I want the stencil to sit so long. If I put it on, I try to put it on before I go to bed or when I'm done, I'll clean everything and then I'll apply the new stencil
so
that it'll sit for as long as possible. But it's usually like 1 or 2 hours. I'll sit down and I'll practice on whatever images I have a bunch of like small. I have a bunch of small stuff and a bunch of bigger stuff. A lot of me practicing this week was just understanding how the machine works.
Okay.
And then just before we started recording, I ordered a bunch of stuff because I'm out of ink caps. I need more skin to practice on, and then I need more needles. So I just ordered that stuff. I was using an 11x17 silicone skin from Pound of Flesh. I don't know how thick it was. 3 millimeters, 5 millimeters. It might have been. I don't think it was 5, but I don't think it was anything smaller than 3. I did both sides. Pretty much completely covered. There's some section on the side that I was working on today that's not done yet. And for the most part, I think the depth, it's shaky, my depth, but anyways, the point is I practice a lot. So that was fun. Frustrating at times. I'm not used to like trying new things, like doing something new.
Yeah.
My life's been so like the same for so long.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of getting used to doing that. And then I go back on Wednesday. I go see Danny again on Wednesday. I started seeing him a couple weeks ago, and now I see him every 2 weeks. But I'm gonna go on Wednesday so he can finish up everything that we started these last couple weeks. Coloring in the pieces on my leg, and then doing stuff on the hand. I don't think the hand's gonna get finished, but it's gonna be mostly finished. And then I want to talk to him. I want to pick his brain, like I mentioned in the previous episode. And then I would like to talk to Joey Wednesday. On Wednesday, to see if he can point me in a direction. Because
you mentioned that.
Like now the actual next step is doing an apprenticeship. My biggest hurdle, my 2 hurdles, one of them is like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a mental thing where it's like I don't like the idea of just going to a shop and just like
you mentioned this,
I mentioned this before. Like it's a real big mental barrier that I have with a lot of things when it comes to people. But then the other one is the finances. Yeah. I need to be able to pay bills and blah blah blah.
Have the time.
So I would like to talk to Joey to see if he can. I would love to do the apprenticeship there because I know people.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to talk to him in the hopes that he's going to give me an apprenticeship. It's more of, hey, you're professional tattoo artist. You've been in the industry, blah blah blah. Can you help point me in a direction, or like this is my life right here. What do you think I should do? You know,
Yeah.
as a professional who's in the industry and blah 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 blah. So that's what I think this week's gonna look like. But this previous week's just been normal working and then hanging with the guys and practicing tattooing, just like normal shit. But and then hopefully this coming week will be framing the walls for the basement. That would be smart of me to actually get done.
Yeah.
I'm very lazy.
No, yeah, I mean, get it rolling.
Yeah. Once it's framed, then the actual hurdle is getting an electrician to come and wire outlets. Which I think we're only going to end up with 3 outlets is what I think we're going to do, is one on each side and then one in the middle. That, or it's going to be 4. It's going to be 2 and 2.
Oh yeah, just split it, yeah.
I'll ask the electrician for his recommendation, and then probably just go off of that. But then once that's done, insulate the wall and then sheetrock all the walls.
Yeah.
Well, the only wall that I can't sheetrock until the electrician comes in is that one.
Yeah.
The rest of them I can sheetrock if I want to, because I'm not going to insulate them.
Yeah, they could have blocked it off. Yeah.
I don't plan on having the 2 other walls that I want to put up have an outlet in them.
Yeah,
because they're just
they're just a block
barriers.
off. Yeah.
So, but that was my week. It's, you know, very basic, boring. Nothing like you're going to a wedding and big birthday bash, you know.
Yeah. All right. So I did want to. I was thinking about it. I don't know, this week or one like today. I was thinking about it. All right. So I know you're similar to me in that I have a terrible memory. I feel like I have like the worst. Like, I don't know. Like I have like a good task based memory. Like the stuff. Like if right now, if I was like, this thing has to get done this week, I'll remember that. But just like in general, terrible memory. What started this was the thought, what's the earliest memory you have that you could think of? And then I started, when I was trying to think of what the earliest memory I had, it kind of pivoted into, like, a lot of my memories are almost like from a third person, where it's like, I don't know if it's actually my memory or I've just been told that. Like, the example I was thinking was when breaking my leg. If I was never told that my whole life that I broke my leg, I'd have no idea I did that. I don't have a memory of it happening, but because I've heard the story of how it happened, I can picture it. Like, I know where it happened because I was told. I can picture it happening, but not like from a memory of like being in it versus something more recent, like an experience like a year ago that I remember. I remember it from like seeing it and like, so I like, yeah, that's kind of a tangent of like.
And I get what you're saying. The earliest memory that I can recall. Do you have one?
The earliest one I can pull is breaking my leg, but that goes to like, I don't know if that's my memory.
Okay, first person memory.
Yeah, the first person memory I can think of is probably, it's funny, it's also related to breaking something. I really got to think of this thing earlier, but when we took the ATV trip with mom and dad, and I broke my thumb, because I can remember like the viewpoint of being on it and then stopping and hitting my hand. Like, I can, just that part. Like, I can remember like from first person that happening. That would probably, because that had to have been, I don't even, like, we had to have been like, man, I had 13, 14.
Well, if we went with mom and dad.
Well, yeah, then it had to have been before I was, because I think
it was before they got divorced.
Yeah, I think I was 12 when they got divorced, so it had to have been before that.
No, I think you were a little younger than that.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Because I'm 2 years older than you, and I don't think I was 14.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I was, so yeah, that had to have been, because I can't picture.
Hold on, because when I was.
Although I do, okay, go ahead.
Because like if I do the numbers backwards, I was 18 when I graduated high school. 4 years before that, I was 14 freshman year. So when I finished elementary, middle school, I was 13, 14. And Gab came to at least your 8th grade graduation.
Yeah.
So when she came to your 8th grade graduation, I was a sophomore. So I was 16.
Yeah, so it had to be before.
So because I want to say I was probably in 7th grade when mom and dad, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say
you must have been young.
12, maybe it was. I feel like the number 12%. Maybe mom told you were 12. Because I feel like I remember talking to mom about it, because I thought I was older than I was, and then she was like, I feel like I remember her saying 12. Maybe she said you were 12. Because that would make a little more sense.
Unless I don't remember when that vacation happened.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the outside perspective of you breaking your. I don't remember anything about that. I thought that happened it was Dad and Gab. I didn't think it was Dad and Mom.
Maybe it was Dad and Gab.
But I don't remember.
Yeah. I feel
I
like
want to say it was I don't think it was Mom and Dad. I think it was Dad and Gab because
okay, maybe
I feel very strongly that if Mom was there, because when you hit your hand and the impact that broke your thumb, I'm speculating based off of my gut feeling of what my memory is. During that vacation, I think it was a long weekend, there had to have been a point where like you expressed excruciating pain to some degree.
Yeah.
And I feel strongly that obviously Dad was there because we were riding ATVs. Dad was probably like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if Mom was there, I think it would have been a bigger deal and you would have been looked at earlier.
Yeah,
so you might have been 12. I don't think it was Mom and Dad.
Okay, so maybe yes, maybe that memory
because I think we came home
yeah.
and your hand felt better than when you first hit it, but it still wasn't fine and it still hurt. So after like a couple of days, and you were talking to Mom, then Mom took you to the doctor and got you X-rayed.
Okay,
I think
so
that's how the timeline falls.
I'm gonna have to confirm. Yeah, because that then I don't know what. Yeah, so because I don't know. I assumed it was Dad and Mom, but yeah, maybe it was Dad and Gab. So then. Trying to think of what my earliest memory, like I can remember the first person view when they told us they were getting divorced. Just the only thing I can picture, but like this is what I'm saying. I have such a bad memory because when I picture it, I could just picture myself laying on Grizzly, or Mom's dog at the time. Like I can remember me laying on him and feeling sad, but now when I'm trying to picture it, I'm picturing them sitting on Mom's current couch, and Dad was never there when Mom had this current couch.
It was the previous.
So I don't know if that like it's just skewed. I have such a bad.
I remember that because they were sitting on separate sides of the couch.
Yeah, see, I can't even picture them. I just remember laying on Grizzly on the ground. I was on the ground. But yeah, like I envy people who have like a spot on. Like Uncle Bill has a crazy good memory of like recalling. I have, but then again, Mom has a bad memory.
Yeah, so. I have a thought as to why our memory is probably not as good as someone say like Uncle Bill. Mom kind of throws a wrench in it, but maybe not really when I get into that. But I'll come to that later. But with memories, my earliest one, similar to how you broke your leg, is probably how old were you when you broke your leg? 2? 4?
3, I think.
So I was probably about the same age. Because either you were just before you were 1 or it was right after you were 1 when I shocked myself with the keys in the electric socket.
You have a memory of that? Because I've obviously heard that story.
It's my memory the way that you have the memory of. Because from being told the story so much, I think I can recall it. I can recall it in first person because I'm good at putting myself in the shoes. As long as I have enough information, I can put myself in the position. I don't think it's my direct.
It's probably,
from hearing Mom and Dad and Grandma talk about it so much, when it gets brought up, they don't really talk about it so much. I've been able to put myself in that position.
Oh, yeah.
And then I know what being electrocuted feels like, so I can envision the feeling on my fingers. But I don't really have any memories. Pretty much all of my memories, and I can't speak for anybody but myself on why I think my memories are this way. Pretty much all of my memories are third person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my memories are like this because I think about the memories that I do remember enough, but I don't think of from the first person.
You just think
about, I think about different aspects of the memories.
Okay, so it feels pieces.
Like yeah. It's all the memories are like in pieces. So like if I'm thinking about like when Mom and Dad got divorced, I'm not thinking of it from me hearing it. I'm thinking, where was Dad sitting? Where was Mom sitting? What did the room look like?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of different pieces
kind
of
like
it.
This third, like this bird's eye view almost of the memory piece together. That's interesting how like we could piece together a memory from from this third like point of view. Like because I
well also when you think about a memory, I could be wrong, but this is what I think based off of the information that I can recall is your brain is not remembering that moment. It's remembering the last time you remembered it.
See, that would make sense just because like that's how obviously people start to remember stuff different because they're like that would make sense of like you're not necessarily See that's why I got so like even into videos so much was because not because I was like I have bad memory but like it became that where like I just wanted, I couldn't remember everything that I wanted to. And I just felt like, this is so cool. And then record it because then I can always go back and watch it. And I noticed the other day, because me and Law were watching back some of my old videos when we were away, and I've realized that in recording stuff, now I have memories of stuff because like I watch back the video of me doing the thing,
it triggers it?
and now it's become a memory, like just the video itself almost. So now I have a memory of the video, but because I lived it. So that's why I really enjoy the videos, and that's why I like doing like I started the Candle I'm Creating podcast and then doing this podcast, because it's like you might in 10 years might not remember when you started practicing tattooing, but now it's like cemented in, and you can go back and listen to it and like almost like have a backup save of memories in the form of videos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I always thought that was like super cool, and that's like why I like to even now. Like I record the vlogs that like I don't even promote them. The vlogs I do on my own channel, they're just like my save of my memories, so I don't have to or try to remember it.
So going back to the why I think our memory isn't. My running theory is pretty much that like you not as much as me, even though we're 2 years apart. So I would say we're more on the side of growing up with technology, because I can very, very, very vaguely remember a world before the internet exploded. Not before the internet, because I wasn't really I don't think I was alive before the internet.
But before
Instagram blew up and YouTube and all these massive like Facebook and all this stuff. Again, I was very, very, very young. But I think that because the advancement of technology, specifically with like social media stuff, I think the exponential increase of stimulus for our brain and screen time, I think it does two things. Because as I was thinking about it, I thought it did one thing, but as I was thinking about it, I think it's two things. I think one, the amount of stuff is very hard for our brains to retain it. There's a third one, but it kind of just is a side piece to it. The second one is that since so much stuff is being recorded, there's like a subconscious thing that happens in us where we go, oh, I don't have to remember it because it's like being recorded in one way, shape, or form somewhere. Like with videos and pictures, and like, I'm not saying that there was amazing memory before pictures and videos and the internet was a thing, but I think there being an understanding that you can hard record something as opposed to just memorizing it
subconsciously.
We're not it's like a muscle. We're not exercising the muscle to remember things nearly as much as we ever were in the past.
That makes sense. I could see that.
So we don't remember it.
I mean, kind of going on like just with social media. Now that you said that, I'm thinking about it. Like, I think because of like social media, like obviously the attention span thing, and we've talked about it before, how like it's good to have time where you're not doing it, you're not like activating your brain. I think that kind of like we rarely have time. We experience something and then we do something cool or something amazing happens in our life or a memory that we should remember. We're immediately later that day doing something else, watching something, Instagram, like, so there's never time to like sit with it and almost let it download in our brains. Like it's just on to the next thing. So it never has time to like soak in and sit. So I think that kind of goes to like the social media, like the internet, like exploding. I could, I never thought about how like that impacted us sort of like remembering stuff. But like, I definitely agree with that.
It's very much a muscle. I mean, everything that encompasses what the human is. I think it can be exercised and expressed in the sense of how a muscle works. Because since we're not exercising it, we're not able to like use it. So like if you were to try and curl a 5-pound weight versus like a 50-pound weight, someone who's been curling for very long could do the 50-pound weight, but not the 5. But then on top of that, if we're sticking with the muscle analogy here, one of the most important periods when you're exercising is the rest periods. It's the time between your workouts, because that's when your body repairs itself and then like it builds the new muscle. So like the time between stimulus for you to imprint, like engrave that into your memory, got shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until it's non-existent. Like I can't tell you, because I don't remember, I can't tell you how many things happen many nights of the week for the last couple of months of just me playing games with my friends, where the funniest thing has happened, like dying laughing for like 2 hours straight because some dumb shit happens. And I don't remember any of it because it's thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. Oh, good night. And then as soon as we get off, it's thing until you pass
time
out.
to let it download.
Yep.
Yeah, that definitely. I had another with the social media. And then I also wonder if like pre-social media and like the internet, like something would happen, and because like social media, how do I even like word this? Like something would happen in your day-to-day life that like you hang out with a friend and like the funniest things happen, and that would be like the most stimulating thing in your day, because the rest of your day without the internet is pretty like bland, for lack of a better term.
So it stands out.
So it stands out. Where now it's like we could say the funniest thing ever right now, but then on Instagram I'm gonna see something else equally as funny, and then something else. So like the things that would like hit super hard don't hit as much, like don't resonate as much, because our days are full of things that are hitting that same like dopamine, or the same,
That
or
makes a lot of sense.
And it works both ways. You watch sad stuff on the internet all day. When something sad happens in your life, it might not stick the same because you're consuming this emotion so much that it's not like triggering. Because obviously, like most of my my earliest memory that I can is breaking my leg, that because it peaks a high emotional reaction, but now I can watch sad stuff all day that peaks that same emotional reaction, and it like becomes watered down where it doesn't stick, on top of not having the time to like sit with it.
Yeah. But kind of going all the way back just to actually answer your question as to what my earliest first person memory is, I don't really have one. There's a couple of moments that I can recall in high school, but nothing really significant happens. There's a couple of moments in high school that I can recall where it's not like a moment, but like a grouping of moments that generally happen over a couple of days. And then there's a couple of moments that I can recall in middle school, but it's very vague. It's like I can kind of give you a theme and I can maybe remember a handful of details. Like I think I was in 7th grade. It was either 7th grade or 8th grade. I can vaguely recall going and seeing Phantom of the Opera, like the play, in New York, with our teacher and my classmates. And then I think I can vaguely recall seeing Wicked. And then I can recall being in, I don't even remember her name. She was like not the special ed teacher, but she was like an assisted learning, really tall, skinny girl lady. She wore glasses. She had like a bob. I don't remember her name.
Okay, yeah, I think,
I can recall going to her classroom a lot to do, I think it was primarily English work. I always had problems with English. But then I can vaguely recall the first time, or one of the first times I was in my 6th grade classroom, homeroom classroom, because 6th grade is the first grade where we weren't in one classroom for everything.
Where you started,
they were like, you go to this room, this room, this room. And then I have a very small amount of memories from earlier than that, but they're very fragmented. Like there's like they're not specific. Like I can remember being in, say, grandma's basement playing on the Nintendo DS. I can recall playing like Nintendogs, and I can recall playing some of the early Pokemon games like Diamond and Pearl and Ruby and Sapphire. And then I can vaguely recall being at Aunt Karen's house and a couple of things, but nothing really first person. Yeah. And any of the first person stuff, it's like a very fragmented memory. Like there's no audio. The visual is very fuzzy, and it's a lot of like I was saying before, where I'm remembering separate pieces. Yeah, and I'm just kind of pulling the pieces together. And
you're kind of connecting the dots.
I remember exactly what Aunt Karen's house looks like, but I might be remembering this living room from this memory, and then the kitchen from this memory. Like, because I can vaguely recall, I want to say all four of us were there, the cousins. We were making pizzas.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
And maybe I'm pulling the kitchen from that, and I'm pulling the living room from something else, and the dining room, like, so I don't really have like any memories.
Yeah, like I get so fascinated about like memory and like how, because it is, yeah, like I'm also wondering, like, like how we don't, I don't know, like we don't, like, obviously, like we were saying, we don't like let it down. We don't have time to like let it download into our minds. But also, like families that are like big families, they have like family dinners a lot. They're always constantly talking about the memories, so it kind of like solidifies it more. Like you remember all these things. Yeah, it's just it's so crazy how like memory works, and like obviously we remember things that like breaking my leg or like things that are like, but then like you said, there's random fragments that I can remember of like stuff that seemingly seems like a random one. I keep thinking about. I can remember. Do you remember the first laptops we got? Those small Acer laptops. I can remember like
I have one vivid memory of that.
The touchpad of it because it was like dots. I don't know. Like,
oh, okay.
That has no like. There's no correlation, but like I can remember what that felt like, but no other correlation to that. Like it's just so wild how we like certain things stick and like random stuff like that. But yeah, I think there is something huge just now that I'm thinking about it, we're talking about it, about like spending that time with people where you are reminiscing. Like there's some people who, like whether it's like friend groups or like families that are tight knit, that like now thinking about it, I think it's so cool when you just spend a lot of time talking about memories because it makes it stick and it keeps it going on. Like closely, like grandma remembers a lot of stuff. Every time we have family dinners, they're always talking about, oh, this thing that happened, because they probably talk about it a lot every time they're together. And
yeah, and they probably exercise the muscle outside of that too, or I mean, they did, right? Whereas like, because there wasn't so much stimulus, there wasn't so much like with social media and stuff, and they thought about the memory a lot more. Like I don't ever really catch myself thinking of memories that don't have a direct impact on what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Unless and like something's prompting and it's coming up to you, like right now, talking about it, trying to think, but I never just like almost reminisce. Like I never think and reminisce. And going with the social media, because we like it's like hardwired that was documented, so we don't need to. I've like trained my brain on that since 12. I was like, I'm gonna record everything so I don't need to remember anything. Cause like I like I do the vlogs now. I like literally tell myself all the time, like I'm doing the vlogs so then I can go to my kids and be like, you want, like, I wish I could watch dad on a week to week basis since he was 12 until the end, like forever. And that's so cool. So I've been making videos since I was 12. Like my kids are going to be able to see myself. And now with this, they can, our kids can watch, oh, me and the uncle and me and your like everyone just like see it. But then I think that's also caused me to like hardwire to like not even try to remember anything, because I'm like, oh, it'll be on that video. If I want to remember something, I'll just go back and look at videos and, oh, this thing and this thing. But going back to that point I said before, I find like things that I probably wouldn't have remembered, I now have as a memory because I've watched my old videos so many times that like I can remember things that I don't think I would have remembered had I not recorded it and watched it back a bunch of times.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted.
No, yeah. Because like that's where I really like that I like filmed stuff since so young, and now I still do to this day. Because even like and maybe like that's the little time I would say I do spend reminiscing, because I do at least once a month I go back and watch a lot of my old videos, just go through them, and every time like I watch it back and I'm like, oh yeah, this was and it helps jog that memory and like remember more stuff. So I guess I do spend some time reminiscing, just going back and watching the old videos.
Yeah, I think also, I don't want to like discredit that everybody's a little bit different. So like their brain composition and like their, I guess, brain chemistry varies from person to person. Cause like some people have like our cousin Daniel can remember and just knows like dates for things like crazy, right? Whereas like mom has a bad memory, but she grew up in a time before the internet.
Yeah, so obviously, yes,
like
things are, yeah.
Going back to when I mentioned she kind of throws a wrench in part of what I had to say, I don't think it nullifies how I explained it. I think that she's probably wired a little differently, and I think genetically we're probably wired similarly. But then like for myself, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Like for myself, if I'm comparing myself to like mom or somebody, I don't have examples off the top of my head, but somebody else that I would interact with on a more regular basis. I find that I'm one of the few people that just lives hyper in the moment, where like I'll think about the future, I'll think about the past, but for the most part, I'm so fixated on what's going on right now that when I think about it, I catch myself realizing that I don't allocate any time to really like reminisce and like solidify memories and stuff. But those moments are really, really short, and it's generally like the few minutes that I'm laying in bed before I fall asleep. So I don't really have the time to solidify, and if I do, then I'm not falling asleep.
Yeah.
But like someone like me who is so much in the moment, like I'm not big on recording things or taking pictures and stuff. Like growing up, even now, I'm kind of whatever about it now. I don't like it, but whenever we as a family get together and we take a picture or whatever as a family, which is, it's nice, it's smart, whatever, it makes people happy. Taking 17 pictures back to back to make sure we get the perfect one, that bothers me. But like I've always been the type of person, and I might get this more from dad than mom, at least like dad's side than mom's side, where like we can take the picture, cool, fine, whatever, but I would rather sit down and spend the time together and then make the memory and solidify the memory in us as opposed to a picture. And I understand the argument of like, well, you can always come back to it. Well, if we make the memory, you can always come back to it anyways.
Yeah.
And then when you forget about it, you talk to somebody who was there, and then it brings the memory back. Kind of like when you go back and watch your videos and stuff. So I think that there is like a group of people that don't really retain memory that well because of their brain chemistry and like where they sit mentally. Like some people might sit in the future more. Some people might sit even further in the past. Some people might sit more in the present. And then like you can keep branching it. So like some people might sit more optimistic or more pessimistic. So when they're looking through memories or what they perceive to be their memories, it's not like what happened. It's like what could have happened or what didn't happen, right? And then I don't know what the storage limit of our brains are, but I would take a guess that we're not hitting the limit when we're like retaining stuff and taking in stuff. I think it's more of we're not imprinting it into our memory, but I think people spend more time on unimportant details or details that didn't actually occur than what actually occurred.
I think they let the wrong details or their
fantasy take over.
Yeah, they let that download more than the actual memory, so that becomes their memory, either like how they felt negatively or positively, and they let that download more than the actual memory. Yeah, because I agree. I don't think that I don't think there's like a limit on the
I think there is a limit, but I don't think we're gonna meet it.
I don't think there's a limit on our memory. I think there's a limit on the download speed. In theory, given the right, however it operates, I don't know if you could figure out how, but I think we could remember everything. But there's probably a formula or like the right amount, like intake information. Let it download in. Like if you had a system and never got distracted I think we could probably retain way more stuff than we think.
Let me rephrase that. I think that what our lifespans are now, we can't actually hit that limit.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's a limit, but I don't think we can hit that limit.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
But I agree with you in saying that it like bottlenecks the download upload speed.
Yeah, because my argument, like you said, obviously everyone's different, but just as human beings, because if you take somebody who has a photogenic memory, obviously it's rare, but there's people who can basically remember every single moment of their lives. And because, like, if that, like, that just shows obviously everyone doesn't have that gene, but a human brain can be capable of retaining way more information than we think. Somebody who can read a page and that page is locked in forever and they just read hundreds of books and they can pull up, like, so the human brain can do it. Obviously everyone's brain isn't the same, but the fact that that can exist, I think, yeah, like, given the right circumstances, we could probably retain. It's obviously a lot of work and nobody like, take stuff and then the work to actually, like, let it download and let it process. And if your brain doesn't work, you might have to do that thing a couple times to let it actually solidify. But like you said, like a muscle, I think if you actually, like, dedicated your life to, like, I'm gonna remember
exercising the muscle.
yeah, and, like, really.
The other two things that one popped in my head before and I keep forgetting to bring it up and I can bring it up here. And then so it's two things that I think also have a massive impact on memory is substance use. Generally it's substance abuse, but substance use and then injury. So with substance abuse or substance use, it can be, I would generalize my classification here for conversation's sake, which would be like drugs and alcohol. But on a broader scale, I would say it's anything that alters your state of mind, even slightly. So, like, just to throw something out there, heavy nicotine use probably alters our memory and our perception of memory.
Yeah, or caffeine, like,
Yes.
anything, yeah.
But the obvious ones are like any kind of narcotic that alters your state of consciousness, and then obviously being drunk. Because, you know, how much of you being under any influence do you actually remember? And for the most part, it's none. They don't call it blackout drunk for nothing. The other one being injury. The only one that initially comes to mind for injuries would be a concussion. So like a lot of sports players and stuff who end up getting concussions are people who, and for whatever reason, get hit in the head. So like it probably happens a lot to construction workers and stuff, just from being exposed to an environment that it could happen. But then like, so like obviously going, sports is a big one. So like football players, basketball players, even baseball players, like soccer players, like head injuries are not a super common occurrence. Like in football, it's like it's more common. But I think head injuries do play a heavy role in memory because whatever happens in the brain from the head injury has massive impact. Like now going back to talking about our personal memories, it's actually kind of been one of my early adult fears is from when I had that concussion, I guess severe concussion. I think it was. I think the doctors classified it as a mild to severe concussion. My personality changed. I don't know if my personality changed, who I am as a person changed, because I don't feel the same when I think about who I was prior to and I don't mean like 2 weeks prior. I mean like months or years prior. And obviously I was like a kid then into a teenager, and I'm like early mid-adult now. I guess early adult still. But I have no recollection of the concussion aside from what I was told. I vaguely remember the feeling of it. I don't even remember it happening because bad concussion. But I think from hitting my head so hard, I think it like shook something in my brain where I have a tougher time remembering things. Like that happened. Like there's the short-term memory loss and long-term memory loss that people can experience for things. And concussions and those kind of go hand in hand. So I'm not going to self-diagnose. I've never been diagnosed with any type of memory loss. I would say that to a degree there was a little bit of both. But I don't know, we were talking about brain stuff. So like I was thinking, because I had a concussion. I don't think you've ever had a concussion.
No, I don't, not to my knowledge.
But that definitely affected my memory in one way, shape, or form. And then I think it shifted my personality too a little bit for whatever reason. I mean, obviously a lot of personal life impactful things. I don't know how to word that happened in my life following that. Followed like the next couple years that followed that. Because I don't when did that happen? Like in 2020, 2019, something like that. And then in 2021, everything changed. My bad. 2020, everything changed. So that happened in 2019, I think. I'm trying to remember when COVID hit. I think that was 2020, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
But and then I think that also has an effect on people's memory, because that, like, being in lockdown, like the whole world went in lockdown, minus a handful of places around the world. Nobody was allowed to leave their house. Nobody was allowed to interact with anybody. Yada yada yada. So obviously it had a outward physical effect on people, but I think it also had a huge internal effect on people. I think a lot of whether COVID was as bad as it was, or it was not as bad as it was, or it was worse than it, it was stated or whatever, is besides the point. But I think a lot of the talking around it, and the fact that, at least in modern history, there is no recorded incident where the whole world was told to not leave your house and not interact with people. I think that it for sure drove people a little crazy. One, by being locked up in the house, but two, like a good example of would be when you're driving and you see somebody in a car by themselves with their windows rolled up and they're still wearing a mask. And now we're in 2026. Like, you kind of went crazy during all of that. So I think big world events also play into it. You know what I mean? Especially something like that, where like the whole world changed. Like, I'm not going to compare it to 9/11, but it was like a 9/11-esque event. Like the whole United States, the whole world changed.
Yeah, it shifted everything.
Happened.
Yeah.
So it changed people.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and I think having sort of like anchors in life also help with like the memory, whether it is like something personally, or like an anchor like COVID happens, so you tie things to it, or because like some people probably don't remember stuff because it is a very they're very routine, there's nothing changed throughout the day. Where like I could definitely, obviously maybe just because it's more recent, but like I can remember more things of the past, like more things in wave change than most things. Whether you say that's because it's a bigger part of my life or just more recent, but because there's more things that aren't very routine, it's very different. So the things stand out and stick more, versus like when things kind of just happen in your routine, they might not stick as much. Yeah. Versus like if you didn't play video games with your friends often and you played one time and some really funny stuff happened, that might stick more. Versus like when stuff happens on routine. Because I heard the more stuff that I can remember recently is because it isn't routine things, versus like specific stuff that happens on set I don't remember, but like I can vividly remember picking up the classroom set because we've never done anything like that before. I can remember building the Infinity Wall because and that's very like different things, and then having anchors like to tie to it, like memories that connect, like moving into here. There's specific memories. There's like memories in the old office because that was new for like a year. That was kind of like a random tangent, but
no, it makes sense. Like with the anchors, because like people base things off of it. Like earlier in our conversation, one of the anchors that I used was when I graduated high school, because then I was able to work backwards to kind of gauge how old I was to figure out when certain things kind of happened. Using anchors really is important, but I think for the most part, I think a lot of it has to do with exercising the muscle of our brain, which like as good as technology is for us to advance, I think that it has a lot of
it does
detriments to our like personal growth as like individuals. You know what I mean? Like we stop exercising a lot of different muscles.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be like, and it's just how like things evolve. I think because like muscles that we don't exercise, we're gonna lose in place of like these things that can do, and that's just like there just won't be like who like in hundreds of years we might not even have memory, like we might not even have
it's
the
just gonna
muscle
be
of
replaced with a
memory.
chip.
Yeah, it will just be you operate in your day and you can access your file vault of memories that are recorded and like, but yeah, that's just kind of like how the evolution goes. But yeah, it's definitely like obviously like there's tons of good and there's like cons that come with it because it replaces you know what I mean? I guess it's just cons like depending on what your viewpoint is of like, is it a con like that? Like we don't have memories, but is it a con because then we could do these things if you don't care about these things? But
Yeah, it really depends on like your viewpoint on stuff. Cause like it's a if we evolve to the point of us not being able to retain memories anymore, as technology advanced, we created the problem, and the problem being we don't have memories anymore. So we would create the solution of, well, we're just going to have a data chip that we insert
it
in our
just
brain
constantly,
somewhere
yeah.
where we can upload, because our eyes become cameras or something, right? So we have the problem that we created over a period of time. We make the solution, blah blah blah. So so it would be considered a problem for those that wish to hold on to the authentic human experience, which is like we're still in the end stretches of a raw human experience, where like we can use augmented stuff for our bodies now. We're starting to get to that point where we can use cybernetic stuff, but it's like the eyes you were born with, the all this, the muscles you were born with, blah 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 blah. Like having memories and like feeling things, and like we might get to a point 100 years down the line, but realistically, the way that technology grows exponentially, it's probably closer to like 20 years, where we just start replacing things and we become like cyborgs or something of that nature. So like if you come at it from the point of, well, I can do more, I can remember more, I can see better, I have thermal vision now because I replaced my eyes. Well, to that person, it's not a problem. But to the person that wants to experience an authentic human experience, it becomes a problem. I think what we as like society have to be careful of as we creep to that moment in time is, because I can see it happening. You can kind of see it happening with things now. And if you look in the past, you can see it happening. We get to the point where it's kind of inevitable that we need to make a change here. So like I'll use putting a chip in our brain to record memories. If we creep to that point, there's going to be a moment in time where that kind of becomes almost mandatory for us to exist. We have to, like as a society, embrace I don't know if that's the right wording. We need to make sure we don't like ostracize those that wish to not partake. Like, you can't like, I don't know how to word this. If that's the next step for evolution for us, is to get a chip in our brain so that we can have camera quality audio, perfect audio memory of everything that we've ever experienced, at least visually speaking, and like you can't record physical touch, at least not with the technology I'm aware of. For those that don't want to do it, if you like kick them out of society, I think that's a really bad move. You know what I mean? And like,
I mean, yeah, that's just how like in every like dystopian movie or video game, that's how like you end up with different classes.
yeah,
The class that, yeah.
I'll make the example here. I don't like make the example because I don't like talking about certain things, especially more publicly than privately. But we actually kind of already saw that start to happen when COVID hit, going back to COVID, with people losing their jobs.
Yeah,
because they weren't
they
taking
wouldn't do it. Yeah.
a vaccine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
and-
that's you've already seen. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but like you heard about what they're doing, where you can pay, like you could pay with money, like
on your palm.
you can get like a chip or something, and you could pay like it could be so easily to be like the only way you can access your money in your bank account is through this thing, and if you don't have that, you can't access money. It'd be so easy to just like flip that. And it's like you have to get you want money, like you want to be able to get paid. You have to.
Yeah. So my point that I was making though is, if everybody unanimously agrees that that's going to be the thing, then fine. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to be 100%. There's going to be a percentage of people that choose to not. And if you don't allow them to do that, it's kind of like stopping them from having their own autonomy, right? Which is like something that I think most humans try to hold on to, is like a personal freedom. Just the evolution of our conversation went from memory all the way to like, but I don't know. It's something that pops in my head when I think about it a little bit. Because it's like a fairness thing. Like you shouldn't be forced to do a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this is a very simple example, but like even with like smartphones coming out, like our grandparents didn't want smartphones, but inevitably they got to a certain point where, and it hasn't happened yet, but they stopped manufacturing non-iPhones or whatever, like smartphones. And then the service stops working on these, and it's like you either like
you comply or you get left behind. And I get I get that argument, and I kind of agree with the argument. My only gripe with it is that's non-invasive.
Yeah.
If we get to the point where it's like you need to replace your eyes with these cameras, or you don't have access to your bank account.
Yeah. I don't think,
then something needs to change.
I don't think we'll get, because that is like over the edge of like dystopian being controlled by something. And like, I like to think that like that might exist, and there might be, it'll create like a class divide of people who want, like, who do that, and then others who don't. But I don't think we'll ever hit to the point where it'll only, like, if you don't do this, like for those extreme levels where it's like you can't access your money unless you get the chip in your hand to pay for it. Like, it might become the primary and the easiest way, but I think there'll always be an amount of humans, and then it'll get to that point once it weeds out enough of the like, by the time, like, when we're our grandparents' age, there probably isn't anybody who's going to be like, I don't want a smartphone, because it weeded out all the people who, like, by the time we're that, like, our kid generation are going to grow up only knowing smartphones. They're not going to be like, I don't want a smart, because that's all they know. So I think if it ever gets to that point, it'll be so gradually that it'll like weed out the people, like it'll become so normal. And I mean, they do everything. They just normalize things over time of like, we got so used to taking our phones and paying like this. What's different if you're just using your hand? You don't even have to hold your phone. Like, they just kind of weed it in. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever become like you have to you have to replace this part of your body for this thing. They'll make it more and more convenient to do the thing that they want you to, and less convenient to do it the other way.
Yeah, but again, like, my fear is that as it becomes more convenient, more people will do it, and it's not going to be the people that are making it, or it's the people that are like, oh, it was convenient, so I did it, and you should do it because it was convenient for me to do it, so I did it. Now you need to do it. You're wrong because you didn't get the palm chip, you didn't replace your eyeballs, you didn't get the brain chip. That's where we need to not stop people, but make sure people don't overstep on other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a crazy time in life when we switch from people getting mad at skin color to like, you're a non-palm chipper.
Yeah,
you gotta. He doesn't have a chip.
I mean, we already kind of experienced that.
Yeah, we experienced a small. I mean, yeah, I talked to with the last episode of Can't Talk I'm Creating. Somebody who was on it was talking about, like, we were talking about like COVID and how he was saying he was like, at his job, they were like adamant, like you're gonna lose your job if you don't get this thing, and he was very like adamant. He was like, I'll jump through every hoop to not do this thing. If you want me to go get tested every day, if you like, I'll like. And that was a good example of like, they make it like, it's not like even if it's not an extreme of like,
did they fire him?
No, he ended up not getting fired because I think he was getting, like, he had to get tested coming into work every day, and like they create all these like subtle, like, that's where it'll be like that gradual, like, almost forcing you into submission of like, we're just gonna make it so inconvenient to not do this thing. And
but there were places that did fire.
If you don't,
like, Danny got fired from his last job because he wouldn't take the vaccine.
Yeah. So, and like, And it just
because like I didn't have to worry about it. I mean, at the time I wasn't working actually, but I had a personal problem with. I don't want to. We can like kind of wrap this up. I don't know how long this episode's been going.
Yeah, we can end it right there. So, episode 16, got our permit.
Yeah, that was a good topic though.
Yeah, the memory I like. Yeah,
I've been thinking about it for maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks now. I don't mind the sitting down and just having like casual conversations. I actually enjoy having a few minutes of it, like the recap of our weeks and stuff, because we don't really talk very much. So having that is nice for me personally. But then I think having some type of topic would be cool, whether it's something cool like this. We can like we were doing it for a while. We had a couple of religious episodes.
Yeah,
but then also like if we want to do like a little bit of homework sometimes, hey, let's both watch this movie that neither of us have watched.
Okay,
hey, let's watch this first season. If it's like 12 episodes, watch 3 episodes this week. We'll talk about those 3 episodes. So like we have stuff we can talk about.
Yeah, because it's funny because I've been feeling the same way. And that's why I was thinking about the memory. And I was like, oh, this is like I want to like we'll talk about this because like watching back the original episodes, I really like how they are like. There's more substance to it. Obviously, I didn't like when we made this. It wasn't like the mindset was just to have a conversation. I didn't really care. Like can't talk I'm creating. I want there to like be substance and stuff. And like this one wasn't necessarily like that. But I like. After now doing it for a while, and I definitely want to lean more into at least having whether it's like this, we have this one thing to think about, and just because I listen to podcasts like and just having some substance for whoever wants to listen to it. It's not just us talking about niche things.
How our weeks went,
and then like what we're gonna do in the house that doesn't relate to anybody. So like having something more substance based, I definitely want to like. So it's funny you said you were thinking about that recently because like I was thinking the same thing. So I definitely think. And I've been more consciously like in the last week when I'm like watching podcast stuff, kind of seeing
taking a mental note.
Yeah, and some of them I watch aren't like there's like You Should Know is one that I like to watch, and they don't have like it's just 2 friends just shooting the shit, but the episode they have whether it'll just be
stuff.
This week this thing happened, and they'll go on and like have more of like a substance to it. So we'll definitely I mean this was the first one. It feels like we're back.
We'll work towards it, but like it's
but I do like the recap how things been, because that way if there some weeks there might be something that causes the topic, and then other times just having something to and I'm gonna like did it when we had the first episodes. Anytime I thought of something, I had a list of just like backup ideas. So if we didn't have one,
I was gonna mention it when we were done, but just because you brought it up, on the iPad, the notepad on the iPad, on the iPhones, the notepad. We can do.
We'll do a collaboration note,
and then like a check mark. So if we cover the topic, we can check it off too.
All right, so when we finish this episode, we'll make that note real quick, and then, all right, cool. So, ending number 2, episode 16. Appreciate everybody watching. If you watched this far, tune in every Wednesday. 2 bros in a room.
2 bros in a room. Bye, guys.